So today I'm on the road and so on the car. And so I just have a few reflections I will be sharing with you today. Um, Prissy is also on the road somewhere. I mean, getting the kids to the games. Okay. Now, so I want to make reference to scripture and share, I think, some few insights from there. Now, scripture says that one shall put to flight 1,000, and two shall put to flight 10,000. I think it's quite an interesting piece of scripture. Now, and I want to allude to this in the marriage context. Um, More often than not, you would assume that um, when two people come together, I mean, in a union I mean, the husband and wife, or even in a relationship, then you would assume that um, the two of them should be able to make life better as compared to just one person. So, what I mean is that if, as an individual, you can achieve as much, the expectation is that when you are two, then you should achieve more than what one person could achieve. I mean, that synergy should be able to help you achieve more. And so, putting it in another way, the expectation is that as you are single, whatever you are able to do when you get married or you get into a relationship, then because you now have two heads instead of one, which we always say are better than just that one, then the expectation is that you be able to, I mean, do much more. And the math here is more of geometric progression instead of an arithmetic progression. So instead of having um, to be able to achieve double of what one person would achieve, it's more like 10 times what one person would achieve. I mean, if you get things right. And so I want us to reflect on these. I mean, if you are in a relationship or you are married and it looks like it is rather getting you to do less than you would have done as an individual, then it calls for serious introspection and serious review. You will need to really have a word with your partner to set things right. I mean, because Solomon also said that two is better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. And so the expectation is that if you are two, you should be able to achieve even more than double of what one person could achieve. So, whether it's in your finances, the general stability in life, emotionally, and all, you should be able to do better than what one person is doing. So if God says that it is not good for a man to be alone, that is, I mean, I believe what that points to. Because if you have the right partner, then the assumption is that you do way better than what one person or what you would have achieved as an individual. And so um, just look into your relationship, look into your marriage, and ask yourself this question: are you really doing better than you were doing as an individual? Or is there something that is really drawing you back and preventing you from really achieving whatever you're achieving? So, by pointing back to that scripture, it says that, I mean, to Solomon's scripture, it says that two is better than one, for they have a better reward for their labor. What it means is that if you check and it looks like no, you are not doing better as a couple than what you would have done as individuals, then it is very likely that not all two are laboring because they will have a better reward for their labor, not for one person's labor. And so it might mean that only one person is putting in all the effort, only one person is putting in all the time. And so you might have to really, really have a review, have a frank talk. I mean, what are we doing wrong? Or better still, what else can we add to it? What better can we do? Because I think it would be quite a sorry state to be in if you take a good look at your life and you realize that being in a relationship or being together with a marriage partner or your spouse is rather causing you to retrogress in all spheres of life. I mean, it will really be a very sorry state to be in. So, I mean, this is more of a call for reflection, a call for a very good review. Look into your lives and figure out. I mean, what were we doing better when we're single, and it now looks like as we are married, it is it has rather gone down south. So take a look at it. It could be any sphere. I mean, it could be your career, it could be your relationships with other people, it could be finances, it could be your emotions, it could be your health, your general well-being. So take a look at it. What should you have had multiples of because you are two, and rather you only I mean you actually having less than you were having as an individual, because the expectation is that one shall put to flight 1,000 and two shall put to flight 10,000, or two people, it's definitely better than one because you have a good reward for your labor. I mean, that Ecclesiastes scripture is very interesting. Later on, would really take a deep dive into that. But in summary, all that I'm saying is that we expected to do, I mean, better with a spouse or in marriage than we can do as individuals. And so, if that is not the case, then you need to really do a very good diagnosis. Now, case in point is assuming that as a man, say you earn 10,000 whatever currency, yep, and you pay rent for say 1,000 of that same currency. Now if you now get married and you have a spouse who is also helping with the labor, remember, and it would mean that now effectively you guys have let's say that spouse is even bringing in 7,000 of that same currency. Now, if you were paying 1,000 of that currency into rent, it means that now, when you take out that 1,000, effectively you have 16,000 of whichever currency it is. You are far better off. If it is investments you want to do, then you have better capital for that investment. And if you go in and calculate what the interest rate will be on, say, originally the 9,000 as compared to the current 16,000 you have, then you would understand why scripture makes it more of a geometric progression instead of arithmetic. So, in all spheres, I mean, however you look at it, if you're trying to maybe buy a house, or you're trying to build a house, or you're trying to buy a car, or you're trying to even take a trip, or whatever, it is always better if all two people are helping out to make things work. And so effectively, two people should be better than one. But if after marriage or after you get into a relationship, you rather see that um, instead of that, whatever 16,000, that should effectively be what you have. But now it seems that you always have like just 2,000. Then it means that um, the money is leaking somewhere because someone is not really focused on what you can achieve together, and maybe is making very ridiculous demands and so on and so forth. And so it should be a concerted effort by two people who would say that we got this. Let's push for it. Let's push to make life better for us than it was when we were individuals. So I think that, I mean, if you look at it in different spheres, it should always be a case of we are better off because we are two people and we are all putting our hands to the meal, and we all trying to make it work. And so reflect over your relationships, reflect over your marriage, and if you think that it was better as a single person than now that you are married, then there is something wrong, and you really need to look at it and try to get it work. In a similar fashion, I would say that sometimes it's also a very wrong mindset we enter into marriage with. And we've been talking about mindset a lot because it is actually the foundation, I mean, of a good marriage. Now, it could be, I heard someone ask, so someone's husband was complaining that the wife was asking that, over all these years that I've been married to you, what have you done for me? Right out of the door, that is a very wrong way to look at it. So if you have a spouse asking, after all these years, what have you done for me? That is where the problem is, actually. When you come together to get married, it is not one person going to labor to help the other out. There might be situations where you will need to help someone out of a certain situation so that the person gets to a point where the person, he or she, can also support the family. That's different. But it is not a case of, okay, yes, it is your duty to take care of me. It is your duty to, I mean, do everything for me, clothe me, feed me, shelter me, everything. When it happens like that, what actually happens is, going back to Pastor Solomon's scripture, then it wouldn't be two is better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. It will be two, I mean, it's better than one because they have maybe not as good reward for one person's labor. It would only be one person who is putting in the effort to make the marriage work and to make the relationship work. So I think this calls for very good reflection. Let's go out there. Let's check our relationship. What can we do better? What do we think we're really lacking? And what extra effort can we put in from whichever of the partners? What extra effort can we put in for us to have a better reward for our labor? And I think with that concerted effort, definitely you'd also have the blessings of God to have things to work. Yep. I think this is about it. I would be dropping for now. I have to catch a flight, so I don't miss it. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being with us as always. Thanks for your support, and always remember that no two relationships are the same. Thank you, and cheers. Bye bye for now.